Our topic today is the gift of a new journey. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to start out by sharing a quick part of my own journey that's relevant to today's topic. So here it is. Sometime about 8 years ago, I woke up one day and I realized I didn't know whose life I was living. And it doesn't really matter what the details are of how I ended up there, because of course we all have our stories. But the reality is, at that point in time, that's where I was. I was lost. And frankly, it wasn't the first time in my life I was lost. A couple of years prior to that time in my life circumstances had changed dramatically because of an unexpected loss of someone I love dearly. And I was really struggling to find my way. And here's the thing. I wasn't just lost, I was stuck. I was regretting the past. I was afraid of the future, and I couldn't really be present in the now. The thing that frustrated me was that I had already spent a lifetime searching and seeking the truth, trying to make sense of my past, learning important life lessons that most people learn when they're growing up through trial and error as an adult. And for a great portion of my life, desperately praying for help. I analyzed the past until I was completely paralyzed. And I spent decades trying various self-help programs, religious pathways. And I found that my life, after all that, was still driven by fear and avoiding pain. Well, eventually, after many years, it finally hit me like a ton of bricks. I had been spending so much time and so much energy chasing the answer that I had forgot what the question was. I was so preoccupied with running from my feelings, protecting myself, and fighting reality that I wasn't even available to recognize the truth, even when it was right in front of me. So it turned out for me that the question wasn't really what or how or where or even why. The question was when. When was I going to be present enough in my life, open enough in my mind, vulnerable enough in my heart to be available for the truth? And at that moment, I saw the light. Just like the song says, I was blind, but now I see. I was blind, but now I see. The time is now. That was my answer. And so I'm reminded of that old saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Because that's what it felt like. I finally let go and let God. And because of that, I found myself in the right place at the right time in the company of the right people. And I experienced a tremendous shift. And of course, the universe then conspired to provide me with the path I desired. And where did it take me? Right here, right through the doors of Connecticut Center of Spiritual Living, into this loving community. And I knew I was home. And only a few short weeks after that, I was talking to Reverend Patrick. And I said to him, I can't believe I found my way here. And as always, he reassuringly said, believe it, Mary Jo, because you've always been on your way here. So that brings me back to today's topic, a gift of a new journey. Nild mentioned about this winter solstice, and that's going to happen in 2 days, on Tuesday, the 21st. And this is where we experience the so-called shortest day of the year, meaning the shortest duration of light in a 24-hour period. And from that point on, the light of day gets longer. Every season reveals something of nature's divine genius and opens doorways in our consciousness to the spiritual promise that lies ahead. The seasons are expressions of the rhythmic ebb and flow of life, and their beauty suggests that they are but reflections of something far greater. So this is a time for us to sit and to be with ourselves, right where we are, to be totally present, listening to that still, small voice within, giving ourselves over to the mystery of life, and then opening up to the realization that the sun is ever present beneath the temporal darkness, that each and every day, rain or shine, the light is ever shining, whether we can see it or not. This is all part of our spiritual journey of becoming, which is this month's theme. Moving with awakened awareness, changing our perspective, we begin to expand our consciousness toward an enlightened knowingness. This is the realm where the truth can set us free. A new beginning in the middle of our journey. Gary made mention of that, where we become available and receptive. And then with practice and faith, we remember to be intentional in thought and deed. At any point in our human journey, as many times as needed, we can open up to the spiritual flow of natural goodness, eternal abundance, infinite wisdom and truth, and let it embody us as we embody it. So each week, the home office sends out some suggestions for Sunday's messages. And this week, they shared 3 major concepts: a beginner's mind, new perspective, and the integration of all learning. So just briefly on beginner's mind, as I shared with you in my own experience, I had been filtering what I saw through a lens of old beliefs, holding on to fear and doubt, what we here call lack and limitation. There's not enough and there's none for me. So let's ask ourselves these 2 questions. Am I able and willing to envision my life with unlimited possibility? Am I able and willing? Am I ready now to envision my life with unlimited possibility? Can I see the God in everyone and everything? And am I ready to embrace life with awe and wonder? What a freedom. And what a wonderful thing to think about this time of year. New beginnings. Life is a series of new beginnings. Each one of us experience that those new beginnings only because we've traveled that part of our journey before it. And though divine truth can be instantaneously revealed, part of our human experience has been allowing ourselves to realize this higher understanding and integrate it into our lives in this physical realm. And the more we trust the divine, the more we realize that we live in a spiritual universe, and the more spiritual truth we demonstrate, the more is manifested in and through our lives. If we're dissatisfied or unfulfilled in any situation, let's ask ourselves, is my life a self-fulfilling prophecy of believing that the past is a precedent for the future? Do I believe that I'm destined to repeat history? Ernest Holmes said that our past is not bound by precedent. We have the power within us to change our thinking and our viewpoint about any situation. It's through our active practice of affirmative prayer that we can move our consciousness to accept that which is new, to see from a different perspective with clarity, harmony, and to demonstrate whatever we seek to experience and manifest it in form. Well, I'm asking you, are you personally ready to start each day, each thought, each encounter, and every conversation and experience with an open mind and be available for the unknown? I'll borrow a phrase from our own Carolyn Scotty, which she shares. Am I willing to dance on the edge of mystery? What's helped me so much throughout my life is when I can stop and ask myself, what do I really believe? Where am I coming from? What's my motivation? And if it's not that we're all one from, with, and of a divine loving source of all creation, and I catch myself in time, I can pause. Hopefully, before I speak and act, I can reframe my perspective. Am I seeing the God in everyone and everything? And wasn't that beautiful that that very phrase was used in the song? Now, anyone who knows me knows that I sometimes struggle with this because I am human and I'm aware. And when I catch myself, I'm eventually able to circle back, offer clarity, forgive myself and others, and move forward with love and acceptance. Love is always the answer. It's always the truth I find behind everything. We can ask ourselves, what are the motivating beliefs behind and underneath my thoughts and actions? What is revealed when I really take a deep dive and look at myself? And what spiritual principles of truth can I replace my old thinking that no longer serve me? So I'm so grateful for new beginnings every day, in many moments throughout a single day. I can start my day over. As we move into new perspective, I'd like to refer to this artist named Mary Engelbrett. She designs gift cards and stationery, and she has the best picture to depict this next concept, which is new perspective. There's a young girl, briefcase in hand, leaning up against a tree, looking out at the hills. And the caption reads, "The real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes." When we decide to no longer be held back by the past, that there is a new excitement and a hopefulness in letting go of what we've always thought or done in any given situation. There's a freedom in consciously changing our perspective. Science of Mind reminds us that unconditional love and abundance is our birthright, and it's God-given. They are already ours, and we need only open up ourselves to receive them. What a blessing, and what a great thing to remember this time of year as we celebrate come to the close of one year and we move into the next. I've learned through our philosophy and practicing affirmative prayer to let go of my attachments to people, places, and things, and to open up to the spiritual flow of goodness. It's always being offered. It's always offering itself to me. And I need only remember that it freely flows to anyone who's available to receive it. When I realized that my life was being fueled by fear, the fear of losing something I already had or not getting something I want. And here we refer to that as lack and limitation. What was revealed is that I was separating myself from God. I found my faith in unconditional love and abundance, that no matter what, I'm going to be all right. It's going to be all right. Everything is already right whole, perfect, and complete. The great master teacher Yoda said, train yourself to let go of everything you fear to lose. And it's a lot easier to let go of who you think you are and what you think you have when you believe that what fills the space it creates when you let go of it is natural goodness, that it's available to everyone, deserved by all. And this is what I think of as amazing grace. Today, I trust that we live in a spiritual universe, that God is in me, around me, through me, and for me. I have faith in the infinite flow of natural goodness, and I believe in unconditional love. And our last concept is the integration of all that learning. And really, I think that's what we're celebrating this holiday season and as we go into the new year. That it's all a culmination of everything that we've learned, that we can manifest in our life, and that we move forward with greater understanding. We can know principle intellectually. We can quote great scholars. We can preach using powerful words, but applying this knowledge and integrating it into our humans' lives, I see this as a call to action. This is the real demonstration of our awakened awareness, changing our lives through changing our thinking. So to finish up, what I'd like to share is, so over the year 2020, as COVID came upon us, my company called us up and said, pick up your things in the office on the way home because you're going to be working from home indefinitely. And it happened like that. The world changed for me. And after a few weeks of feeling incredibly cooped up at home, I started going down to the Connecticut River every morning. And I started my day watching the sunrise. I did this for an entire year. I can't say that I've ever done anything faithfully, consistently, every day for an entire year. But I was inspired to do that. And it was incredible. I was there. I witnessed the winter solstice and the summer solstice and the spring and the fall equinox. I was present to watch the sun rise, even on a cloudy day, no matter the weather, no matter the time of day. And sometimes sunrise is pretty early. But I was there, and every single day, I felt inspired, and that I knew that behind those clouds, the sun was always there, or I could just sit and pray in the beautiful golden light of the sunrise. And it was incredible. And I remember years ago going on vacation to Bermuda, and I remember what a big deal it was to wake up early and go to the best spot on the island to see the sunrise, like it was the only time I was ever going to see the sunrise, and that it could only be in that location. And during this year, I realized that it's just a matter of me being present. And I sat there and I experienced the dawn and the birth of each and every day. And it was an incredible experience. And, you know, this was something that came upon me because I was mindful that we live in a spiritual universe, and that it's all about love and light. And I spent a lot of time down there reading and studying my practitioner training and writing. And, you know, I gave birth to a lot of new ideas, a totally new perspective. And I was inspired to integrate all that into my life in a totally different way. And that's the gift that I've been receiving ever since. That gift, this part of my personal journey of becoming. becoming who I've always been meant to be. So Science of Mind tells us that the lessons we learn on our journey are about realizing greater understanding of our oneness with Source. And by amazing grace, our paths have been joined and we share each other and our lives on this broader spiritual journey of expanded awareness, higher consciousness, and shared purpose. And I leave you today with one final question to take with you and ponder. What is possible in your life when you approach an area of your life with a beginner's mind? What changes? And what new perspectives might be available to you? And I wish you the best during this holiday season and always, experiencing new birth, rebirth, new beginnings, starting a new journey, and seeing your journey of becoming with expanded awareness. Be free, available, and receptive to divine spiritual truth. We have a couple more weeks in December, and we'll be continuing to talk about the wonder of this time of year. Enjoy the wonder and the awe of this beautiful life we've been given. And thank you for your time.